June 7, 1997. New Zealand's rising star David Tua versus undefeated Nigerian challenger Ike Ibeabuchi. Tua is soft-spoken, but at 27-0, the Terminator is making noise in the heavyweight ranks. He's the favorite to contend someday for the heavyweight championship. But the president, Ibeabuchi, will hear none of that. Some say he's taking a gamble stepping up to challenge Tua, but Ibeabuchi has already demanded a bigger challenge to all who will listen. Two undefeated heavyweights clash next on Classics Night at the Fights.
Referee Lou Filippo with the instructions for David Tua and Ike Ibeabuchi.
Okay, you had your instructions in the dressing room. Give me a good fight, shake hands.
12-round heavyweight fight between undefeated power-punching prospects. Ike Ibeabuchi, the great unknown, taking on David Tua. And Tua's cornerman Lou Duva.
Okay, time.
Concerned with the tape job on Ibeabuchi.
I want him to put the tape up to the top. I'm going to take no chance on a cut.
Tua 27-0 with 23 knockouts. Ibeabuchi 16-0 with 12 knockouts. The one thing we do know about him, he's got a great body. Tremendous physique on Ike Ibeabuchi. We know plenty about David Tua. It was a year ago when he crushed John Ruiz in just 19 seconds. And he's coming off an 11th round TKO victory 2 months ago against Oleg Maskayev. That was an 11th round TKO in a fight that he was trailing on a scorecard. And there was a draw on another scorecard. I'm Joe Tessitore alongside the Iceman, John Scully. And it looks like a very fast pace is being set early here, John.
Definitely. And he's I've never seen Ibeabuchi before, but he looks to have a good jab. And like you said, he has the body that you want a heavyweight to have. He looks good. He looks the part. And he's definitely willing. I mean, he's in with a big puncher, but he's definitely willing here.
There's that big sweeping right hand from David Tua. Ibeabuchi, though, look at this. Returning fire with a four-punch combination. Of course, Tua best known for his devastating left hook. Uppercut from Ibeabuchi.
He returned fire after getting hit with a good right hand. So, you know, he took a punch and he immediately took the starch out of Tua.
Ike now to the jab. Tua to the inside, shoulder to shoulder. Ibeabuchi, a Nigerian native, lives out of Dallas. David Tua, born in Western Samoa, moved to New Zealand with his family at age 10 and won a bronze medal representing New Zealand in the Barcelona games 5 years ago in 1992.
Ibeabuchi started out good with the jab, and he's kind of abandoned that. He wants to mix it up a little bit, but again, boxing's not the hardest thing to figure out in certain instances, and it's no secret that he should use the jab and punch from a distance with Tua.
He's the much taller man, scored with the left hook moments ago. Uppercut on the inside now from Ike. Tua boring in, going head-to-head. There's that left hook from David Tua, but Ike right back at him. Tua tries the left hook again. Ike, unfazed, goes with a right uppercut of his own. Well, it's his first appearance on the big stage for Ike Ibeabuchi, and it's a good showing right from the start. End of one.
Don't stay in there all day. You stay in there, let him know you're not scared.
Curtis Copes, the trainer for Ike Ibeabuchi, the great unknown. 16-0 with 12 knockouts, facing the superior, more proven, and much more experienced undefeated heavyweight prospect, David Tua, 27-0 with 23 knockouts. Crowd here in Sacramento getting a chance to see two men who may define the next 5 to 10 years of this heavyweight division.
I like Ike's left hand. He's got a good left hand, not just with the jab, but he kind of hooks off the jab. He goes to the body with the jab, with the left hand. Very, very smart fighter. Good skills. I've never seen him, but he definitely has good skills. And if anything, the one mistake I think he's making is he's constantly doing good on the outside, then he initiates apparently to go on the inside, which is definitely favoring Tua.
Are you surprised by the work rate? It just seems like Ibeabuchi never stops working here.
It's almost like, I mean, if you didn't know better, you'd think he didn't know they were going the distance. They were going in a long fight. And he's busy. He's very busy, which, you know, is a great thing to see from a heavyweight. I'm so used to seeing heavyweights push and maul and jockey for position, but he's got good skills from the outside. And I'm sure his corner wants to see that more, pumping the jab. And as he gets loose, he could start jab and then pump the right hand right behind it.
There's a right hand from David Tua. Coming over the top, the short, stocky frame Tua, very, very skilled and an extremely powerful puncher. Comes with the right hand again, but Ibeabuchi keeps punching.
He's got a good work rate. He also doesn't seem to be afraid. You know, a lot of guys with Tua, they're very conscious of that power, and they flinch and they kind of, you know, they take their time to back up and get out of the way. But this guy seems to be initiating a fight, and he's doing very well. I mean, if you didn't know the situation going in, you wouldn't be sure who was favored, I don't think.
No doubt. Very strong start from Ike. The chant of Tua from this crowd in Sacramento. Ibeabuchi goes back to the left hook, three-punch combination. Tua tried to sneak in a left hand of his own in the midst of it. It's hard to believe that Ibeabuchi can keep up this pace.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I've always been a big believer. It's very obvious. It doesn't necessarily matter how it begins. It matters how it ends. And it's beginning pretty good for Ibeabuchi here, but they've got quite a ways to go.
Tua trying to rally at the end. Ibeabuchi meets him. What a strong start for the Nigerian native.
All right, baby, all right, that's my man. That's my man right there. All right, Tua, hello. Tua, look, how you feel, baby? Look, man, we're looking good, baby. Look, this guy can't keep up this pace like this.
All right. You're doing good. Let's keep on that side, all right?
I got this little bitch. It ain't nothing to that. You just keep fighting. I got you. Okay?
Stay close to him like that, all right?
All right.
Pressure's hurting him. All right? Look, punch and step around. If you're not going to punch, you got to walk around the guy. Keep turning this guy, okay?
Keep
Hold
turning
the body.
this guy.
Put the short overhand right.
Keep turning this guy.
Ibeabuchi not even breathing hard after those opening 6 minutes, where he set a very, very early pace. It's funny, Ronnie Shields in the corner of David Tua, almost as if he's listening in on our broadcast. He said the same exact thing. He said, this guy can't keep up this pace.
Right. You know, you wouldn't think so. And also, kind of surprised me, but not, in that Shields started out by, you know, hyping up Tua, telling him you're doing real good. That's good, baby. I don't necessarily think that was a great round for him, but, you know, you want to keep motivation up. One thing I didn't like is that he asked him, how do you feel? I don't think you should ever ask a fighter, how do you feel? Because that leaves it open for a yes or no, good or bad answer. You should tell him he feels good. And, you know, because you don't want to give a guy a chance to think to himself, well, man, maybe I don't feel good, you know? And, but Ibeabuchi's got to stay with that jab on the outside. It's not rocket science how you need to beat Tua. I don't think knocking Tua out is a very realistic thing, looking at Tua's previous fights. Anything can happen, but you want to go with the best possible chance.
Early on here in this third round, that best possible chance for Ike Ibeabuchi comes in the form of that jab. He is committed to it early on. Left hook from David Tua, glancing blow. Tua now, double jab of his own, trying to get to the inside. Such a damaging puncher. Let's talk about what was also said by Ronnie Shields and Lou Duva to David Tua, and that was keep turning Ibeabuchi.
Right, because Tua, Ibeabuchi sets up very nice. He lets his hands go when he's set. Tua's right in front of him, and he's right in the line of fire. So you want to turn. Tua needs to move a little bit. Not box, but move. Just step. Force Ibeabuchi to lift his feet up and turn on his back foot. That way he can't be set as he's moving. And if he does punch while he's moving, it won't have the same effect. So you've got to negate some of that, because right now, right in front of him, I don't think Tua's used to this, but he's got a guy that can roll off shots on him and isn't afraid.
Right hand over the top from Ibeabuchi against that jab of Tua. Ibeabuchi really hasn't slowed at all.
And I also like the fact that he seems to have a good selection of punches. He uppercuts, he hooks to the body. He's got the right hand. He throws more uppercuts than the average guy. And, he does a lot of different things in there.
Two-punch combination. Went to the body with the right hand. Now on the inside, a spot where David Tua should be able to get off. Instead, Ibeabuchi with two left hooks. Now Tua sends a left hook to the body, and Ike right back at him with a left-right of his own. There's a short uppercut on the inside before Tua comes back with a left hook. But Ike, punch for punch, a step ahead of David Tua. Coming to the end of three, Tua and Ibeabuchi.
Go right around him. You're not going to the right. You're standing in front of him, right? Go around him and get your hands off. Break a rib, baby. You got this here. Hit him on the shoulder. But punch hard.
Right is there. The overhand right is there.
Let me see you punch with authority in there, right? Get close and turn him around. Turn him around in there. Come on.
Lou Duva trying to charge up David Tua. They want to see some violence on the inside. Break a rib, he said. Ike Ibeabuchi, 16-0, 12 knockouts. By far the biggest fight of his young career for this 24-year-old Nigerian native. Round number 4 here, scheduled for 12 here in Sacramento. David Tua, much more experience, coming off of the 12th round TKO over David Izon. Of course, had the first round sensational knockout of John Ruiz, as well as the win over Oleg Muskayev most recently. That was in April.
Ibeabuchi lets his hands go very well for a big man. Nice combinations. He's a very smart fighter. And it actually, from what I see now, it's actually belies his experience. He looks like a much more experienced fighter.
He does. He does. And, that was really the one thing that everybody pointed to coming into this matchup, John Scully, is we know a lot about Tua. He has experience as a heavyweight prospect. We know Ibeabuchi doesn't. Seems like he's overcome that edge early on here, but we will see when he gets deeper into the fight.
So that's what professional boxing is all about, the 12-round distance. A guy might look awesome for 3 or 4 rounds and then just fall apart. If he doesn't, he's a legitimate guy. Even if he goes on and lost a decision to Tua or gets beat, he's showing skills. He's a worthy opponent for sure.
Scheduled for 12 tonight, Ibeabuchi has only gone the full 10 rounds once. That was a decision win he had in March against Marion Wilson. This is already his 4th fight of 1997.
See, now the story of the fight just played out there. Ibeabuchi threw 4 punches. Tua came back with 1. And that's how it's basically gone. And that's the science of it and the lack of science of it. Tua can't get by with 1 punch. He may catch him. He's done it before. But you can't bank on the 1 punch.
Warning from Lou Filippo about the elbow from Ibeabuchi. That showed up early in the first round. Tua now a little better on the inside.
I think Tua's throwing way too many 1 punch at a time. He has to put both hands into effect, especially when he goes downstairs. He's throwing a lot of headshots, so he's not giving Ibeabuchi anything to worry about downstairs.
Meanwhile, Ibeabuchi for having that body and that thud of a power puncher. It's been a volume puncher tonight.
Yeah, that's surprising. It just goes to show you, like, you look at him, you wouldn't think this is how he fights.
4 rounds in the books. Perhaps the first round that you could even lean Tua's way. The favored undefeated prospect meeting the upstart, Ike Ibeabuchi.
You're doing good. You staying in there too long for me. You got to make him let you get outside. Get outside and stick the jab 4 or 5 times. Then go back in there, okay?
John Scully, you heard Curtis Coates tell Ike Ibeabuchi, you're staying inside too long for me.
But that goes back to what I was saying earlier. It's not rocket science. Like what he does right there, double the jab. Tua doesn't really seem to have an answer for, and all you would have to watch out for is Tua every 15 or 20 seconds would get up the nerve to try and blast away with 2 or 3 good shots. But you could pile up points like that. There's no reason for Ike to fall in, which I think he wants to do. He wants to initiate kind of a pushing, mauling type of fight. And Curtis is right. If he stays outside, I mean, he's winning. He could win these rounds easily.
Good body work from Ike. And still the consistent work rate, especially with that jab. This is the range they want to see him at. Tua comes bearing in with a right hand and just goes over the top with a left hook.
His jab and his assortment of punches really stand out to me. He's impressive with that, but the jab is one of the better jabs I've seen.
I think that's really one of the things that's so impressive about a guy that we haven't seen a lot of, is his assortment of punches.
Right, I mean, he's fighting like a well-rounded professional. And just go show you also, I mean, there's guys out there you've never heard of before that are good fighters. You just wonder where they come from. Where are these guys?
It's a global sport.
It's unbelievable. You know, there's people think the undefeated guys or the famous guys are necessarily the best, the only good fighters out there. But there are guys out there. I was told when I was a kid, getting ready to turn pro, and one of my trainers told me something I never forgot. He said, there's guys out there you've never heard of that could beat you into the ground.
One of the beauties of the game, you can uncover a gem like we're seeing tonight in Ike Ibeabuchi. Of course, David Tua, an Olympic medalist, a well-heralded undefeated prospect. And many feel the sky is the limit. Tons of upside for David Tua. There's that left hook from Tua, his signature punch, and he catches him again.
But Ike stays right there with him. He's not afraid.
Left hook of his own. Tua now opens up with a left hook, and Ibeabuchi returns fire. Good stuff between 2 undefeated heavyweight prospects. Double left hook from Tua. Receives one in exchange. Ike Ibeabuchi willing to play with fire and heat things up on his own.
And I love the way he's giving Tua things to think about.
Double left hook by Tua closes out the 5th.
We're making a duel.
The unbeaten Ike Ibeabuchi has impressed us so much with his work rate and volume punching that we haven't seen the David Tua that we have come to know until that 5th round, John Scully, when Tua went to the left hook and Ibeabuchi found out all about it.
And you know, Tua lands a good left hook here, and he got some leverage into it, and Ike swallowed it and came right back. A lot of guys haven't been able to do that with Tua, so that's got to have Tua thinking.
The stunning development has been that Ike Ibeabuchi has been able to keep up the pace that he set early on. He keeps utilizing the jab, he keeps combination punches going, and he has returned fire with fire against David Tua. But with that left hook landing in the 5th, and the subsequent right hands and double left hook, and here now a left hook in the 6th, are things starting to change.
It looks like Tua's opening up a little bit more with big shots. It looks like Tua's starting to feel a little bit more comfortable. There's a good right hand, but Ike takes him, and but how long a guy can take bombs from a guy like Tua. It's not something you want to prove that you can do. I think there's smarter ways for Ibeabuchi to fight. You don't want to give Tua any type of incentive to keep loading up on that hook, because sooner or later he's going to catch you with his home run punch.
And as we've discussed, as this fight goes on longer, will the experience of David Tua take over along with the power punching? He has gone into the championship rounds. This is scheduled for 12 rounds. Ibeabuchi has only had one 10-round fight in his career. Left hook, and then goes downstairs to the body with it.
You've got to think, I mean, he's human. You've got to think Ibeabuchi is going to have questions in his head. He's going 12, he hopes, not just with a professional fighter, but with a guy that's feared, that's proven that he has late-round knockout power. So Ibeabuchi's going to have to stay sharp the whole 12 rounds. That's a lot to ask of a guy that's never been in there, not just the distance like that, but with any really top-tier guys.
Ike now targeting that body.
I mean, I think that the right hand, if Ibeabuchi has a fast, straight right hand, if he can jab and drop the right hand in there, it's open for him. Tua walks in with his left hand very low. He's not a tremendous defensive fighter. I think Ibeabuchi could zip that in there if he decides to throw it.
Tua seems to be just in a little more control here in this 6th round than he had in the preceding 5.
But he seems like he's getting into a little bit of a groove.
I think maybe Tua was as surprised with the pace of Ike Ibeabuchi as we were.
I think he's also a little surprised that that Ibeabuchi hasn't shown any type of real respect for him.
Gets off a combination late. End of 6 in Sacramento.
Throw the overhand right and 3 punches behind it. I'm telling you, knock this guy dead.
Go to the right,
okay?
hit him on the shoulder, and then you'll hit him on the chin. You got that? But you got to keep turning this guy and get fast hands in there.
Keep staying low like that, but you got to punch more to the body. Got to go hard to the body. I got you with the head. Look, Tua, stay close to him, all right? But look, Tua.
Don't quit. You know you can go 12.
Suck it up. Get deep breath. You're doing great, son. Keep your hands up.
Come on, no pity. Hurt this guy.
Very interesting comments from both corners. You heard Lou Duva and Ronnie Shields almost demanding that at this point you have to hurt this guy. Meanwhile, Curtis Cokes, at the halfway point of this scheduled 12-rounder, telling Ike Ibeabuchi, don't quit. Surprising comment?
That was a little out from left field. Maybe, like, again, he knows him better than anybody does. Maybe, hypothetically, maybe Ibeabuchi has shown a tendency in the gym to falter after 6 rounds. So maybe he's just trying to get him over that hump. They're trying to convince him. They told him, you can go 12. But really, how would he know? He's never done it in a real fight. So that's where the mental aspect of boxing comes into play in the corner.
Uppercut by Ibeabuchi, and then 4 punches by David Tua. Tua now with that shotgun jab. He's popping it right up there. The fight on the inside now, advantage Tua. We have not seen the jab as much as we did earlier in this fight from Ibeabuchi. Now he goes with the double jab. Let's see if Tua can get back to the inside. He does so with a right hand and a left hand, short right hand. Ibeabuchi still working, still putting up those punch numbers. He's been busy throughout. Right hand over the top from Tua.
And what Ronnie Shields was telling Tua was something that I think Tyson was very good at. A lot of comparisons have been made between Tua and Tyson, but the big difference is Tyson had those fast hands, and on the inside, he had blistering combinations that he let go to the body. And Tua hasn't done that. I haven't seen that from him at all, really. He's more of a one-punch, two-punch type of guy, and that may have worked with other guys, but this guy is a different opponent. He's putting up a fight. He's edged out to a lead, and I think Tua needs to step up now and really follow up. He's just doing the 1 and 2 punch is not going to beat Ike Ibeabuchi.
So easy to make those comparisons to Tyson's short right hand from Tua, just when you look at the body type alone.
Right, I mean, he's got that power, that heavy-handed type of power. He's a shorter type of guy. There's a lot of comparisons, but Tyson, at his best, let his punches go. Like, Tyson had that animal instinct, like killer instinct. He let his hands go. He tried to hurt you. Tua, with this fight, seems to be going with 1 or 2 big punches at a time, and that's not going to work, apparently.
Tua finding the mark much better here in this 7th round, but Ibeabuchi isn't going anywhere. There's that right hand from David Tua. Lunges in with the left hook, back to the right hand. But still 1 punch at a time compared to the steady work rate of Ike Ibeabuchi. End of 7.
Strong, hit him as hard as you can. Come on, let's go.
Sit back and pick the left hand up, all right? Right.
Ike Ibeabuchi, 16-0 with 12 knockouts. David Tua, the much more established heavyweight prospect, at 27-0 with 23 knockouts and wins over named opponents. But on our scorecards ringside, favoring Ike Ibeabuchi through the first 7 rounds of this fight. Interesting comments, however, being made in the corner of Ibeabuchi by Curtis Cokes. 3 minutes ago, he told him don't quit, and now here before the 8th round, he said you got to make a strong run at him. So maybe, just maybe, they're worried about it potentially slipping away.
I think he might sense a little easing off on Ibeabuchi's part, and you know, you have to be consistent. You have to stay with the plan. You have to stay focused. And a lot of guys, you know, they're in the middle of a fight. They get a little lax, and if nobody wakes them back up, they'll just keep falling into that. And he might not realize how well he's doing in there. They need to tell him, you're doing well. You have to tell him what he's doing well at, which is the jab and punching from a distance. I think he should throw in more right hands, and he could slow Tua down.
Ibeabuchi working more than Tua on the inside. That's a spot where Tua needs to take advantage. Oh, good short right hand by Ibeabuchi.
And this is good back and forth action, which you wouldn't think a guy, an untested, no-name guy, would be able to come in and trade punches like this with Tua, but Ibeabuchi's doing well with it.
Uppercut by Tua. Ibeabuchi throwing punches between the punches of David Tua in that sequence. Right lead, left hook by Tua. Good sequence by Tua there. Ibeabuchi still throwing. Tua right hand to the body underneath. Gets off the 3-punch combination.
And that's what he needs more of. Tua needs to drop in 3 or 4 or 5 at a time. He's got to get those bursts in there to catch the eyes of the judges, because this is kind of a measured pace by him. He doesn't do anything more than 3 at a time. So the judges never are really like, wow, that was great. You know, he has to do something to catch the judges' eyes.
Meanwhile, on the other side, if the judges were impressed early on with Ike Ibeabuchi and his commitment to keep punching, oh, very nice left hook by Ibeabuchi, perhaps his best punch sequence of the past 3 rounds, the double left hand upstairs. If they were impressed early on, he's never given the judges any reason to get off his bandwagon. He's stayed with it.
Oh, for sure. He's being consistent.
Oh, hey.
Let's go. Give me that swap. All right, we're looking good, David. Now look, David, look. Baby, look. You got the punch, Tua. Look, you waiting too long with this guy. This guy trying to steal it. He's trying to steal the round from me at the last 30 seconds. Now that's what we working on, right? Okay?
All right, second down. Let's go. Let's go. Second down.
Ike Ibeabuchi still looking good. That big, physically imposing frame. 16-0. Taking on the power punching David Tua. Here we are in round number 9. 2-punch combination to open up the 9th round. Ibeabuchi 1-2 and now committed to that jab once again. I would have never thought that Ibeabuchi would have been able to stay with this pace for this long, John Scully.
No, he's a big man, and he's fighting the best opponent of his career, the toughest opponent of his career, and he's quick. He's picked quite a fight to really step up his game and to show the world what he's all about. Now, I don't know if he has the experience or the confidence to do it, but now is the time when a guy with a jab like him is supposed to really start pumping that jab harder than he ever has in this fight or even in his career. He needs to establish the jab now harder and show Tua that, you know, I'm gonna finish strong. I'm gonna raise my game. Because Tua certainly is expecting to finish strong. I would think, you know, the common thought would be that Tua will finish stronger. Now, Ike doesn't need to do this. He doesn't need to stay in there and trade punch for punch for punch. He has to get on the outside and create the openings and the opportunities for himself, because they're there, and he gets opportunities on the inside, but so does Tua.
Oh, good uppercut from Tua. And that's what Tua can do. He can land that one shot that can turn a fight. Ibeabuchi right back on top of him.
And he hasn't thrown a punch since. That was probably his best punch of the fight, and he hasn't punched since.
Why not follow it up?
He's got to blow it out. He's got to let his hands go here.
Such a critical fight. A fight that can propel one of these prospects right to the contender level. Tua 27-0, Ibeabuchi 16-0. Goes to the uppercut one more time, does Tua.
And they're both in that groove now of 1 and 2, 1 and 2. One of them needs to start throwing 3 and 4. Force the other guy to either deal with that and open himself up, or the guy's just going to stay there continuing throwing the 1 and 2. But they can't just throw 1 and 2 at each other for the rest of the fight. Somebody's got to separate themselves.
Tua goes to the body there. Left hand thudding right on the belt line. The left uppercut, the highlight of round number 9. And now Tua. Combination at the end at the belt. It seemed like a Tua round.
Hit me out here. Hit me out here. Come on. Make a serious run at this man.
It was Tua who made a run at Ibeabuchi in the 9th, John.
Nice triple hook, and this is the most telling punch of the fight, I think. That was the first and only time I think Tua landed a good shot on Ibeabuchi that Ibeabuchi looked affected from it. But then he did nothing for the next 15 seconds.
Alongside the Iceman, John Scully, I'm Joe Tessitore. Round 10. 2 undefeated heavyweight prospects meeting up. Ike Ibeabuchi, regardless of how these last 9 minutes go, he has proven himself. 16-0 with 12 knockouts. Couldn't be more impressed with him if we tried.
And I'd like to see him. He's starting out good with the jab. And I think that's good for him because Tua is probably in the mindset where he himself has to finish strong with big shots so he could walk into jabs. This is the time when Ibeabuchi really needs to pump that jab because Tua, to get to him, is going to have to overcome that. And so far, when Ibeabuchi jabs well, Tua doesn't seem to have much of an answer for it. Now he should get back out. Ibeabuchi should step back out and start again. Just like that.
There it is. 4 jabs in a row, 5 from Ibeabuchi. Back to it. Tua comes in with the left hooks. and tries to do damage with the right hand. Boy, it's refreshing to see heavyweights just letting their hands go, isn't it? Willing to work.
Right, you know, you're used to seeing guys lay in there and push and maul, and then when they do land 3 or 4 punches, it's like it's a big deal. But these guys are definitely putting up an output that's unusual for heavyweights, especially Ibeabuchi.
Good snapping jab. Tua backed off to reset himself.
Wow.
And look at that.
That's
snapping back the head of David Tua, which is no easy task.
That's how Larry Holmes used to hit guys with the jab. It was noticeable. A lot of guys have good jabs, but they're not noticeable. This is the type of jab everybody in the audience must see it. He has not come back with the streamlined right hand behind it, which I think is a big mistake. I don't know why he hasn't done that, but he could bomb Tua with that if he really committed to it.
We've seen short right hands on the inside, but nothing from distance set up behind that well-utilized jab by Ibeabuchi. It would serve him well. You're absolutely right. More work from the jab. Tua goes to the body.
This is a good round for Ibeabuchi.
It
really
sure
good.
is.
And just with the jab, that's a Larry Holmes type of round. You throw the jab, work the jab, dominate the round with the jab.
Oh, here comes Tua. 4 or 5 punches. Ibeabuchi right back at him.
And he gives it back to him. That's what he needs to do.
Right back at him. Heck of a round for Ibeabuchi. After the 9th round, when Tua landed that big uppercut, Ike comes back.
Right uppercut away from me. Got to use the left one, all right? Okay.
Okay, you're doing all right, son. You're doing all right. That's a nice little round. I need a better one. I need a better one.
You got to push yourself. Okay, check it out. Come on, let's go.
Duva and Ronnie Shields seem to be so comfortable in that corner early on, even though Ibeabuchi was outworking David Tua. Now you really get the sense that there's a touch of desperation.
I would think that, not that they underestimated Ibeabuchi, but the guy's obviously got to be considered more than they thought he was.
No doubt. Round number 11. 6 minutes to go in this heavyweight fight that will surely determine the short-term futures. 2 undefeated prospects trying to forge ahead in this heavyweight division.
And this is a fight, if Ibeabuchi could win this, it would be very fair to say that the jab was the key weapon. Like the jab, this is a fight that illustrates what the jab can do or can't do for you. And at this point, Tua seems resigned to just looking for that 1 or 2 big combination, the 1 or 2 big punches. So Ibeabuchi should stay with the jab. He doesn't have to be a hero and finish, you know, guns blazing. He should pump the jab, and then if he does get hit with a good shot, come back 3 or 4 quick shots like he did last round and go back to the jab. That's what they say, go back to the jab, and that's the most basic boxing. Like right there, pump the jab. Let Tua keep walking into it.
1-2 off the mark.
Okay, stop. Hold it. Hold it.
11th round here in Sacramento. Tua willing to swing on the inside. Still searching for that signature left hook. It hasn't shown up enough tonight.
Good block. Ibeabuchi keeps his right hand up. He nullified the left hook.
That's critical against Tua. Tries an uppercut of his own. Tua comes back with a right hand.
He's definitely prepared for Tua. He's obviously watched tapes and done all the right things so far.
Well, you know what you're getting in David Tua.
Yep.
So if you apply yourself in preparing for him, you can put forth the game plan.
Right, you just have to be able to take it.
You have to be able to, exactly,
and the intangibles have come into play in favor of Ibeabuchi. He's taken the best shots. He's been able to return fire.
Combination from Tua now, and Ike does indeed return fire.
And he's also strong. He's pushing Tua back often.
Here comes Tua now on the inside. 2 left hooks and then the right hand.
I just think it's too little, too late.
Look at this exchange. Tua head hunting.
He's not landing though. Oh, good shot.
It was Ibeabuchi who finishes it off with a left hook.
Give me the mouthpiece. Give me the mouthpiece. Suck it up. Suck it up. Okay, Ike. Fire hard. You're not hitting hard with your hook in your right hand. Come on, you hit hard there.
This is the championship is going on too. You gotta go out there and fight. You gotta go out there and fight.
The stage has been set. Ike Ibeabuchi. He has burst onto the scene. David Tua, 27-0, the most hyped of the heavyweight prospects. Now 3 minutes to determine it. Ibeabuchi, in stunning fashion tonight, put forth a pace that was unmatched by Tua. Tua coming on in the later rounds with his power punching. But at the end of the 11th round, it was the left hook by Ike that got everyone's attention. Tua lunging, looking for that left hook. Ibeabuchi still punching in combinations.
And he's very game because he knows Tua's going to throw big shots to try and end this in this round, as he's done already. And Ike's staying right there with him, answering back.
Tua head hunting, everyone buzzing here ringside as these two fighters have broken punch stat records so far in this fight. Back to the jab for Ike.
And that's what's carrying this round and the fight, I think. Ibeabuchi keeps being first. He's always first. He doesn't let Tua lead, and Tua can't get into a groove. Nothing's sustained.
The jab of Ibeabuchi has been key, as well as meeting Tua punch for punch at every moment. Uppercut from Ike. Tua now, shoulder to shoulder. There's the left hook, right hand combination. Throws 5 punches in that sequence. Ibeabuchi right back.
Tua's just not busy enough. He's got to throw caution to the wind here. Let his hand go. It seems like Ike can slow down a little bit. Tua needs to sense that and pick it up. I expected a busier round out of both guys. I thought both guys would want to end this thing with guns blazing, but it's like they can't get their groove.
See if they pick up the pace here in these final moments of this 12th round. Tua left hook, Ike left hook of his own, and that's exactly what we've been detailing. He needs some punch for punch.
He answers him back every time. He takes all the play away.
Now they go swinging in the middle of the ring.
That's what they needed.
Look at this. Nice way to end it. Very active heavyweight fight. Both men deserve credit. Ike really impressed. Who knew? 16-0. David Tua. Has the upset happened, or will Tua maintain his unbeaten record? You can see how happy Ibeabuchi is with what he put forth. John Scully, which way do you think this one's going to go?
I have Ike up. I think Ike definitely did enough to win. I think Tua is going to kick himself later on when he realized he didn't put his punches together like I'm sure he had hoped he would.
If you were in the corner of Tua early on when you realized where this was headed with Ibeabuchi, what would you have been telling him?
one big factor, I think, was he should have been doubling and tripling up his jab. He needed to get Ibeabuchi on his heels, but he wouldn't do that. He stayed right in Ibeabuchi's range for the entire 12 rounds. So even when he got off good shots, he was always in a position to be countered.
It's been such a good run for David Tua, the Olympic medalist. The big wins over Ruiz, Aizan, Moskaev. But will he be undefeated once the scores are read?
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of boxing, we go to the scorecards. Judge Young scores this fight 117-111. Judge Ellisbrew sees it 115-114. Judge Jordan scores this fight 116-113. Unanimous decision in favor of the new WBC International Heavyweight Champion, Ike the President Ibeabuchi.
Attention, heavyweight division. Ike Ibeabuchi has arrived.